Shalom, homies. So my last few videos, I've talked about lies. I have shared what I believe to be truths about lies. For the sake of liberation, for the sake of freedom. Because the truth will set you free. Right? Absolutely. So I talked about the lie that is money, the lie that is this matrix, which is a construct of the egregore of all of our egos. Our egos also being lies. Right? Constructs of the brain. A defense mechanism. That's what the egos are. We get traumatized, the body feels threatened, it creates neural pathways and programs which react without thinking for the sake of keeping the body alive. That's what the ego is. It's unconscious reactivity. Okay, and that unconscious reactivity, which is only concerned with the survival of the flesh, constructed this matrix that we are all slaves to. So if we can break free of the ego, die to the flesh, we can break free of the matrix and enter into the kingdom of heaven. Okay. So we created money because the ego that is a lie wanted to be able to go around telling lies and reinforcing itself, trying to convince itself and everyone else that it's real. If we were being honest and engaging with life honestly in the way that God intended, we wouldn't need money. Because God's given all of this to us as a gift. Okay. And if it was enough for us, if we were grateful and gracious, life itself, living it, would be enough. And we wouldn't need to go around trying to prove ourselves worthy of anything, because only the ego needs to do that, because it's scared and it's a coward and it's a liar. Okay, so, but how does that play out in people's everyday lives? Like, what does that look like? You know, what does it look like to be a living being made by truth, in the image of truth, participating in and identified with a lie that brings about destruction and death? How does a living being convince itself to serve a thing that is destroying it in real time, leading it to its own death? Well, compartmentalization, fragmentation of the psyche, multiple personalities, cognitive dissonance. Most of us do that to one degree or another because it's necessary if you're going to participate. The only alternative is to go crazy or to step outside the matrix and go out and strike out on your own, right? And walk the Jesus path, the Jesus way. Not knowing where you're going to lay your head, but just trusting that you will be provided for without having to tell lies. So, okay, let's make up a scenario, like what that sort of obfuscation and compartmentalization and telling lies to oneself might look like in an individual's life. Okay. Let's say a person is they call themselves a farmer. They have a bunch of land, and their ego is really into this idea of presenting itself as an altruistic person who's concerned about the environment and the local economy and doing right by the earth and by people, right? But the matrix that this person is embedded within is the opposite of all those things. Okay, it destroys the local economy. It destroys the environment. Okay, it puts poisons in the earth. Okay, this person is really identified with having the world see them as a steward of the earth and an organic farmer, right, who cares and loves people and nature deeply. But because they feel like they need money in order to survive, because they've bought into the idea that it's money that gives them everything they need to survive and not God, because they put their faith in the matrix and not in God, they need to find a way to make money so that they can buy the supplies to do their organic farming and participate in the local farmers market, right? Participate in the local economy. They need to have goods that they can bring there to sell. So these people, they have, this farmer has, let's say 200 acres. So they decide what they're going to do is they're just going to use 2 or 3 acres for themselves to grow their organic food. And then they're going to lease out 100 acres to a farmer who is participating in industrial agriculture. That farmer is subsidized by the government. So by leasing this land out to this conventional farmer who uses pesticides and chemical fertilizers that are poisoning the land, they're guaranteed a monthly rental fee from that person. Okay, so you see already how there's some kind of cognitive dissonance happening here, because that's actually at odds with what they want to be and are claiming to be and presenting themselves to be in the world. They're saying, I'm an organic farmer. I care about the earth. And yet they are profiting off of the destruction of the earth through money that is, in a roundabout way, given to them by the matrix, the government, right? And then they take that money that they have earned through a rental fee of their property, okay, that is supporting the poisoning of the land, and they go on Amazon.com and purchase packaging materials to put their produce in that they're going to go sell at the local farmers market, presenting themselves as someone who wants to support the local economy, okay? And yet the money that they're earning from selling their produce at the local farmers market, they're turning around and spending it on Amazon.com, the behemoth giant that is putting all small local businesses out of business. This person tells themselves, well, what can I do? I've made peace with it. And what is it exactly that they've made peace with? They've made peace with the fact that there are limited options. So they're just going to, sell out, because ultimately it's the easy thing, right? It's not that they don't have other options. It's that that's the most convenient, because we still are at a place, folks, where you can find things elsewhere. And if you can't find things elsewhere, if you can't find things locally, perhaps you should change the things that you're selling or how you're selling them if it requires you to take money out of your economy, the local economy, and send it far away to a billionaire's bank account who is raping and pillaging the earth and running slave factories, basically. Because this is the other thing. It's like, this person is presenting themselves as someone who cares deeply about the earth and people, and yet they are knowingly supporting a company with money they've taken out of their local economy. They're using that money to knowingly support a behemoth that is putting local economies out of business. And while doing that, allowing their workers to be so overworked and underpaid that their workers are dropping dead in the warehouses on their shift, literally, okay? And Amazon is telling all the other workers to step over the dead body because time is money, and you know, put some boxes around the body so you don't have to look at it. Okay, but keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. We've got orders to fill. So this farmer has just made peace with the fact that, oh, that's just what we do here in America. You know, if you want to participate, if you want to buy, sell, and trade, you got to serve a murderer. You got to serve a liar. So who is the murderer and who is the liar? Anyone who is participating in that is a murderer and a liar. Okay, that's the truth of it all. That's what we're all doing. But what's going on in here with the compartmentalization and the cognitive dissonance is internal bureaucracy. The world we're living in is full of corporations that are made up of a lot of individuals that don't have to, any one of those individuals, take responsibility for anything that they do within the corporation, because the corporation as a whole just takes a hit through fines. No one in that corporation actually has to take responsibility for any of their actions. That is the United States of America and every citizen within it who is paying taxes to this beast. We're all complicit in the murder of people in countries far away that we go to war with to take their resources. We're all complicit in that when we pay income taxes to the military-industrial complex on all the money that we needed to earn because we're really addicted to comforts, you know, and we've just made peace with, in order for us to have our comforts, we've just made peace with the fact that what comes along with that is dead bodies and degradation of the environment and no more local economy and everybody's a slave to Amazon. We've made peace with that. You see what's going on? Now, everyone who's participating in this system to one degree or another is doing something similar to that. You have to be, because that's what it is. That's what the whole thing is. The whole thing is bureaucracy and compartmentalization and no one taking responsibility for anything. But karma is real, and we're about to get a big dose of that. So even though we've been pretending like there are no consequences to our actions and that we're just entitled to anything we want, that's what the ego does. Truth is truth, no matter how hard you fight it. Okay, so now as a result of us telling lies all the time, serving our ego all the time, chasing money all the time, and just making peace with it, now we are going to experience the consequences of the war that we have all waged on the Mother Earth and one another. Here in America, we're going to face energy shortages, people are going to go hungry, crime is going to go up, people are going to drop dead from heat stroke because they can no longer afford to run their air conditioner, or the grid is going to go down because of the AI data sensors, which are eating up all of the resources and energy so that we can all serve our egos online by making stupid memes and AI videos as we sit in our underwear on the couch and eat Cheetos. But we've all made peace with it. Because what else can we do? We can wake up. We can come up here. We can stop serving the ego and identifying with the flesh. Because that leads straight to hell, guys. Hell on earth is coming. It's actually already here. It's just that people have fallen in love with hellish things because they're identified with the flesh. And the flesh is base and gross and only concerned with its desires and what it wants, no matter the cost to anyone else. But we're all one life. So when you do that to other people, when you do that to the earth, when you destroy, when you kill, when you take, you destroy and you kill and you take from your own life. So we have to integrate. We have to break down the walls. We have to stop lying to ourselves. We have to start taking responsibility, spiritual alchemy, self-actualization. We're all going to have to go through a dark night. The collective is stepping into a dark night, right? And everything we've ever thought, said, did that is not in alignment with truth is about to come into our awareness, and we're all going to have to sit with that, and it burns. It hurts. It stings until you give it up, you let go, you surrender. Because that pain, that burning, that hurting is what you're experiencing when the ego that you are identified with refuses to die. That's the suffering. The suffering is the unwillingness of the ego to admit that it's not real. Okay, because you're so identified with that thing, you think when it goes away that you'll go away. But you're the truth, and the truth is eternal. Okay? This is all an illusion. It's a fun house, a circus, smoke and mirrors. And it's getting quite ugly and scary in here. But because we are the ones that created it, we can also take it down. And God is taking it down. God is dismantling it. That's what I'm saying. Is the truth is what actually is. And we can't hide from the truth anymore.